Are general manager Marc Bergevin's and head coach Claude Julien's jobs safe for next season?
Marc Bergevin, definitely. Claude Julien, a few weeks ago, I would have said almost definitely. I wonder a bit now. After that Washington game, you could tell he's getting frustrated. He was asked, how can your players be sloppy? And he basically said, I don't know. I can't ask them. So I think he's getting frustrated with what's going on. So I don't know, maybe 50-50 with Julien, but he's got 2 more years at $5 million a year on his contract. That's a lot of money to eat. And at some point, Marc Bergevin is going to run out of scapegoats. It was P.K. Subban, it was Max Pacioretty, it was Michel Therrien. I don't know if it's Claude Julien. Like, how many coaches can a GM go through before, bullets pointed at him? So, but I think Jeff Molson's bought into Bergie 2.0 100%, and he's going to let him continue through. But Claude Julien will be an interesting decision. If something does happen, I don't think it would be until after the season, but we'll see.
I share a similar opinion to Stu. I felt a couple weeks ago what Claude Julien was trying to implement with his guys was the right thing to do. It's just a matter of the players not executing when they were trying to be as tight defensively as they could. Now it just seems with Claude Julien being frustrated, maybe if you're Habs management, you're considering whether or not the players need a new voice. So I think Claude Julien is a bit on shaky ground right now. But I think Marc Bergevin will definitely see out the end of the season and even get into the offseason. I think he bought himself time when he started, with those draft picks, starting to get guys like Jesperi Kotkaniemi, getting Cole Caulfield. And I think going into the NHL draft this year, depending on where they end up, maybe they still get a good draft pick. If it was up to me, if I was Jeff Molson, I'd go to Marc Bergevin and be like, okay, hey, you want to stick around? You got to find a way to get me Alexis Lafreniere. Even if, the way the league is set now, you can't necessarily tank to be the worst team in the NHL. Detroit's got that pretty much on lock. But if you could find yourself in a position where you can get Alexis Lafreniere, we all remember how the last draft went in Montreal when Louis LeBlanc was selected and how all that went. You know what? If we want to make a whole big deal about drafting a Quebec-born player for in a draft based in Montreal, then Marc Bergevin better go do the thing and find a way to get Alexis Lafreniere. That's what I would think would be the big thing for him to do if I was Jeff Molson. But I think otherwise, since I'm not Jeff Molson, obviously, he'll still see out his position into the offseason because of what he's been able to do with some of the younger players.
I think it all comes down to, I think they're going to end up finishing the season, both of them. And then I think Claude Julien's job really depends on those exit interviews with the players. I really do think so. I think that when the players go in and they talk about how their season went, if, the overwhelming survey is that they just didn't believe in the coach or they didn't believe in the system, all those excuses of injuries and everything out the window, and then Claude Julien is going to be on the unemployment line again. If it goes well, I can see him starting next season just because, for 2 reasons. One, legitimate excuse, losing, some major firepower. And 2, again, why are you going to pay a guy $5 million to just be a spectator?
All right, well, go to hockeyinsideout.com now to check out this week's full episode.